Real Talk, a segment brought to you by the Scott County Public Library. I'm your host, Professor Lincoln, here to showcase some of the new films that we have and talk about a few films you may have missed along the way. We are here in Homeroom for Gender Studies 302 on Real Talk Summer School, and class is now in session. Today we're here to spotlight and talk about in-depth about women-led and created projects from all different scopes of life. First up, we're heading to the Still City of Pittsburgh to talk about a movie that celebrates one of the patron saints of public entertainment in Marielle Heller's 2019 film, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Journalist Lloyd Vong has been assigned to write a 400-word profile on Mr. Rogers. As he gets to know the man, he treats this article more as an expose piece of work, waiting for Fred Rogers' mask to fall and to reveal his true self. But it becomes clearer and clearer there's nothing sinister about Mr. Rogers, no dark secrets or ulterior motives, and it's not an alter ego. Mr. Rogers is just Mr. Rogers, the man himself. At this turn, Rogers is able to flip this interview, and his soft-spoken demeanor and gentle questions are prompting Lloyd to reckon with the pains and hostilities in his own life. Marielle Heller's film isn't so much of a retelling of a Mr. Rogers' life as it is an actual adult episode of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood for adults that feel like they might be too old to watch the show. Vogel, played by Matthew Rhys, is the film's protagonist, and Rogers, played by Tom Hanks himself. And Lloyd feels like a stand-in for all of our fears, cynicisms, meanness, and hopelessness, while Roger plays the act of the antagonist. Not really a villain per se, but rather an agent of change. A guiding hand to help teach Vogel and ourselves as the audience to a lesson in empathy, providing us with an experience on how to love people as individuals. In the end, director Marielle Hellers gives us a guide to something very attainable for us as the viewer to watching Vogel's journey and his redemption. To look inside of ourselves and learn an empathy that will allow us to better ourselves and others. Next up, we're going to take a long, good look at the 2015 Iranian Muslim vampire love story. Yes, I said that right. And the title, A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. Directed by Anna Lily Amirpour, the film is a passion project about a dying oil town that is in Iran that is being stalked by a vampire in its lonesome streets. I say lonesome because this film really pushes the idea of isolation and emptiness in everyone's lives until the main male lead falls in love with a woman who loves skateboarding that just happens to also be a vampire. A second-generation Iranian, Anna Lily Amirpour was born in England but was mostly raised in America, growing up with her younger years in Miami before ultimately moving over to Bakerville, California, where she fell in love with the idea of skateboarding culture, malls, and Mexican gangs, of all things, that kind of led to the creation of this movie. It was from there that she went on to graduate from art school before eventually finding her way to LA and graduating the UCLA Film School. The movie is shot completely in black and white, and it's just totally beautiful. And the film was produced in 2014 by Elijah Wood's production company, SpectreVision, and shot in Taft, California. The genesis for this movie literally came while Amirpour was working on a short film when she noticed one of the extras had been wearing a cador, a body cloth mostly worn by Muslim women. After asking her permission to wear the item, she put it on and completely felt this empowering sense by the cloth. She went skateboarding in it, and that seed sort of what became ultimately this movie character. And what I think has become one of the most unique and coolest vampires in movie history. I think it's just a really innovative way to make a vampire. The whole film made its debut in multiple smaller festivals before becoming a critically acclaimed just about in every single major festival there was, being introduced each time by Elijah Wood of Lord of the Rings Hobbit fame. I love this movie. It's very quirky, it's very art house, but it's just so beautiful to watch this journey. And I would love for you all to watch it too. You can always find every single episode of Real Talk on our Facebook or YouTube, and I encourage you to go to our website to see all the amazing programs that we have. This has once again been Lincoln, Professor Lincoln, here to tell you to watch more movies.